A woman is rescued after going overboard. Celebrity is going to CocoCay, and more. Ahoy, travelers. It's Amy with Cruising from the Ozarks here with your weekly Cruise News Roundup and my thoughts on some of the biggest stories of the week. Carnival Corporation has realigned its corporate structure, allowing the presidents of its 6 largest lines to report directly to CEO Josh Weinstein. Now, I don't know what they were doing before because this only seems to make sense. However, those 6 brands are Carnival Cruise Line, Princess Cruise Line, AIDA, Costa Cruises, P&O, and Holland America. Now, they make up 90% of the corporation's capacity. The smaller lines are going to be supported by these larger lines. So Seabourn will be running through Holland America, Cunard will be part of P&O Cruises in the UK, and then P&O Australia will report through Carnival Cruise Line. Weinstein stated that this restructuring is going to allow for more flexibility by giving the lines a direct access to him. It'll speed up the process and let the corporations act much quicker and purposefully for the brand's needs. It'll enable brands to operate with greater speed and responsiveness to market demands and opportunities. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure how everything was structured before. This only makes sense. I don't know why a president wouldn't be directly speaking to the CEO of the company at large. I do know that the lines often seem very separate from each other with different policies and procedures, which I guess makes sense if they're based in different areas of the world. So you have P&O out of UK, P&O out of Australia, you have AIDA, Costas in Italy. I get all of that. So that kind of makes sense, but I've always thought it's odd that like Carnival ships don't have all the same policies that Princess and then Holland America have. I wish the Carnival Corporation would consider merging their loyalty programs into one, though. Can you imagine? I understand why they don't, but it would be huge for cruisers if they did. Celebrity will now be offering stops at Royal Caribbean International's private island, CocoCay, as part of their 2024 itineraries. 2 of its Edge-class ships, Celebrity Beyond and Celebrity Reflection, will be based out of Fort Lauderdale, with the Beyond offering 6- and 8-day cruises, and then the Reflection offering 3- and 4-night cruises, all of them stopping for that perfect day at CocoCay. I haven't been to CocoCay, or Key if you rather. I only say K in this instance. Normally I would say Key, but perfect day at CocoCay rhymes. However, I prefer authentic experiences to these private islands, so it's not normally my choice to go to a private island. It definitely depends on what you're wanting in a vacation, though. If you're wanting a beach day and you don't care about the crowds, maybe that's for you. Maybe you want some zip lining or time spent in a water park, then something like CocoCay is probably something you'd like. I can see going to one if it's at a port that you've been to multiple times and you don't have something else you'd like to do, but usually I would prefer to stay away from the crowds. And I don't have enough money for those private cabana that these islands offer. They are so expensive. Royal Caribbean International is banking on CocoCay being a draw, though, as it sets up Celebrity's 2 newest ships to sail itineraries around the island. What about you? Have you been to CocoCay? And would that being a stop on an itinerary be a reason to book one of these cruises? Let me know in the comments below. Just like I mentioned last week with the announcement of Royal's latest Oasis-class ship banking shorter cruises, I do wonder if this will be more of a party atmosphere for those cruising on the Reflection. I'm not sure mid-tier lines like Celebrity are exempt from the booze cruise phenomenon that occurs on short itineraries. I doubt it would be as much of a party as something like a 3-day Carnival cruise, but I do imagine it will be a much different experience than if you were on a regular 5, 7, 8-day Celebrity cruise. Now this brings up something that is very important for inexperienced cruisers to know. You cannot judge what a cruise or cruise line is like if all you've been on is a 3 or 4-day cruise. I understand why it might be tempting or even make sense to someone who's never cruised before to book a short cruise to see if you like cruising. However, the only thing that a short cruise is going to help you learn is the basic layout of the ship and if you get seasick easily. The food, entertainment, and most importantly, the atmosphere is all going to be different. So just keep that in mind when planning your first cruise. I recommend, at minimum, booking a 5-night cruise. Before we get to the big story of the week, if you enjoy this video and maybe even learn something, consider subscribing with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any future posts. Be sure that you hit that like button as well. It only takes a second, and doing so helps cruisers like you find us. A woman was rescued after falling overboard from the 10th deck of the Mariner of the Seas last Sunday. While not confirmed, it has been reported that she was sitting on the railing while taking a selfie. Luckily, she was spotted, and an emergency buoy and smoke flare were quickly tossed overboard to mark her location. Crew were able to launch the pilot boat and bring her back on board the ship in less than an hour. I heard it was around 45 minutes. My assumption is that someone was nearby when this happened, saw the whole thing, and was able to immediately alert the crew. Balcony passengers helped guide the rescue boat as they scanned the water for the unnamed woman. There's video that's been posted to Twitter that shows the buoys in the water, smoke coming from the flare that had been tossed into the sea, but you can't see the woman. Then we see the pilot boat searching the area, and they were able to locate the woman and bring her back on board ship. After the rescue, the woman was taken off the ship and transferred to a hospital in Curacao. Even if someone is rescued without injury, they will be removed from the ship at the next port of call. That's standard practice. Well, that was a big story in the U.S. It wasn't the only such event in the last week. Our next story has a much more tragic ending, though. A Polish mother and son died after going into the Baltic on Thursday. The mother jumped in to rescue her son after the 7-year-old boy fell off the Stena Spirit, which is a ferry that was headed from Sweden to Poland. The crew reported the man overboard, and the Swedish Maritime Administration responded to the request for assistance. A full-blown rescue was enacted as multiple NATO vessels and helicopters were already in the area conducting exercises, and they were able to join in the emergency effort as well. And about an hour later, a rescue helicopter located the mother and pulled her from the water. The child was found separately by the ship's crew, who retrieved him with a rescue boat. Both were taken to a nearby hospital, however, neither survived. Authorities said that the child fell from the Stena Spirit ferry and his mother dove into the sea after him in an apparent rescue attempt. The boy fell from a height of about 65 feet, according to the Swedish Maritime Administration. An investigation is underway to determine how the boy went overboard. The Stena Spirit is one of the many ferries owned by Stena Line that are like a cross between a small cruise ship and a car ferry. They offer cabins, restaurants, bars, even entertainment. The Stena Spirit can hold 1,300 passengers and 500 cars. While this is a popular way to travel throughout Europe, this type of ferry is not something we see in the US, so I wanted to make sure that everyone understands this is more like a cruise ship than something like the New York City ferry. Only 28% of those who go overboard ships are rescued, although some experts believe the percentage is actually closer to only 10%. Oftentimes, no one sees a person when they go overboard, so by the time their absence is noted and the ship begins a search, it's just too late. I've said this before, but please be careful when around the edge of a cruise ship. While it's nearly impossible to accidentally fall overboard, it still happens as passengers make poor decisions that put them in precarious positions. Don't drink to excess. Don't even think about getting that dangerous selfie or trying to make an attempt at a viral video. And please, watch your children like a hawk when near balcony railings. I hope you found this week's Cruise News Roundup informative. Why not stick around and check out this video and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.